it, so I kind of wait for you to get to all the real bad shit out, and then we start the show.
Well, we
You've
already
already started
have started
because
the show.
we're smarter than you. We're just smarter than you.
You are as smart as me. That's what we call it.
No.
All
No.
right. Welcome to the Sports Porch Pittsburgh, where you are watching us live on Facebook,
Welcome
on
one and all.
LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, all over the world. And you can always grab the podcast, listen to the podcast. We drop it right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your freaking podcast, baby. And I know it's not baseball season. Baseball season as well for us is over.
But it is hockey season.
And you can
Tomorrow night.
always find us at theporcheslive.com, theporcheslive.com.
Theporcheslive.com on this Penguins Eve.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, boys.
Penguini Eve.
Oh, man, I can't tell you how excited I am to do this show tonight. If you can see in the background is Steve down there. That's Steve, the Hockey Jesus. We got the new studio set up. We're going to have some couch casts at some point. We're going to have some guests in here. We got Schwaber over here to my right. He has his eye on the Phillies game because he can't help himself, even though this is a Pittsburgh show. And then you got me back here in the corner, your technical director, and I'm digging the setup.
Yeah,
It's
we
really
revamped
good.
it up.
It's really good.
We got some energy around here, guys.
All we did was we moved some furniture around, and who knew?
Yeah.
It could look like this.
That's
my
it. That's all we
pleasure,
did.
guys. My pleasure helping out.
Mark was here in
Yep.
spirit.
He was.
Yes.
He got the video of the finished product.
You know, we got more work done with him not being here, honestly.
Probably. Yeah. Because it's always like, did you ever notice he's always like, as soon as we start doing something, he's going, my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, hey,
Yeah.
when are we stopping for food?
Yes. That's always.
I have a herniated disc. What other disabilities that I have do you want to make fun of?
That was a bad question.
We could go
was a
on.
bad,
That's a whole
bad
show.
question.
That's a whole show by
Yeah,
itself.
I kind of walked into that one.
You did.
No.
You
I
did.
did.
Don't worry. We'll slam the door in your face
Sometimes you
later.
get punished for making insults.
That's right. Sometimes we just get punished for being here. All right, listen, guys. The Porch is live tonight, and I want to remind you that we are a live show unless you're listening on the podcast. And you can always call in if you have anything you want to say. It's your voice, not your face. It's just like a radio show because we are usually on Radio PGH. And as always, I forgot to fire that one up. So,
Well,
the hell with it this time.
412-805-7236.
That is correct.
We would be happy to take your call.
Call in and
only if you
talk to
call
us.
during the live show.
Call in and talk to us. So
Can't call on the podcast.
Can we just get to the first place Steelers?
Yeah, well, how funny is that?
I
how
love
funny
it.
is that?
I
Okay,
love
so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this up on the ticker. I want to know your emotions about beating the Ravens. Call into the show now, 412-805-7236.
David's on the porch.
And what's up, DG? How you doing? Greetings. And Ro wants to know, Mark, why are they picking on you?
Well,
There's
years of history.
There's some hidden.
Yeah.
There's actually some hidden.
Once again, that's a whole nother show.
There's some hidden meaning there. Absolutely hidden meaning.
Greetings, DG.
So, emotions. Okay, during this game, I think I remember texting you guys and saying I am completely confused.
Oh yeah.
Were you not confused? Give me your emotions about this game, Steve.
So let me start with the night before.
All
because,
right, go for it.
Scott goes to the games. We're at the bar. We're having some beer. And he's like, well, what do you think about tomorrow? And I said, honestly, I have no clue. I said, 60% chance it's a 17-14 game. 25% chance the Steelers get blown out. And the 15% chance, the Steelers blow them out. And when I said 17-14, I didn't say who was going to win because that's a toss-up game. I had no idea who would win that game, to be honest with you. But so I did kind of expect that the kind of game that we got, but not the way it played out.
Right.
Oh my God. And then through the game, like before the game, it's about the same emotions. But during the game, literally, I think I went from I'm going to just trust in Kenny Pickett In Can We Trust? I think I texted 4 or 6 times. And then I went to Kenny Pickett is dead to me, to Steelers are in first place, to wait, maybe they're not in first place because they just fumbled it away, to we're definitely winning this game with a field goal, game over, maybe not game over. Yeah, game's over. I mean, literally, like, that's where the emotions were. They were like, this team needs a total revamp. I'm so happy they're going to lose. Canada's gone, to, well, we're in first place. and that's really it. I mean, it's really, it was really an unbelievable roller coaster of emotions.
I got to tell you, I'll chime in. Did you have any emotions about it, Schwaber, or were you emotionless as usual?
Well, I mean, I root for the Steelers because my wife is a Steeler fan. And it really has nothing to do with the Eagles unless they match up in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, you know, I take a little bit of a different vantage to it. Like, I have the belief that them losing the game would be better for them than winning the game. I feel like them winning the game almost secures another mediocre season, another 9-8 finish, and nothing bottoming out, and you don't have the changes that you need to become a better team.
Right.
So that's kind of where I was at. You know, I mean, you know, the things that I want to see happen. I want to see Matt Canada gone.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna hold up. I've been told there's, you know, there's parameters.
There's
today.
structure to tonight's
Sorry.
show.
We're gonna try because there's
Okay.
so much to unpack here.
Okay.
Let me just say, well, first of all, your wife agrees with you, which, I mean, I know she's required to. So,
Although she said something before I even started talking.
yeah, did she?
Yeah.
She and it was probably
She said, I don't think the Steelers are a good team.
Well, right,
No,
and
well,
I think that a lot of people were there. Let's see what Mike Lawrence has to say on Facebook. He says, we get 1st and goal from the 5 and can't get a touchdown.
Right.
Then at the end, with about 1:15 left and no Ravens timeouts, we take a 43 quick kneel. What is it?
We take
quick kneel down.
Quick kneel downs and kick the ball back to the Ravens. Insane. Right. I mean, we're going to get a ton of comments tonight. I know this.
for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah, we got to make some changes. DG says, can you guys identify any significant changes? No. It seemed like the same old stuff to me, relying on splash plays against underperforming teams, no winning strategy. So continue with your emotions or whatever the hell you were saying.
I'm very even keel.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, nothing really surprised me in the game except for the amount of blunders the Ravens made.
Blunders on
Yes.
both sides, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, the blunders the Ravens made a big difference in the game.
Yeah, that was the only thing that surprised me in the game.
Yeah. If I'm a Baltimore fan right now, I'm talking about right now is 2 things. That ridiculous play at the end of the half, which was obviously a miscommunication, but still, you got to.
Is that what he said? I never heard anything.
Yeah,
about
they said it was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
But you got to button it up more than that. Okay.
For sure, yeah.
These games always come down to the last second. We know that.
All points are important.
Going into this game, the Steelers all time were tied in the amount of points scored against each other all time, which is a crazy statistic.
Well, they were 2 points off.
Yeah.
Going into the game, and at one point during the game,
they got a safety.
It was exactly even.
7-19 to 7-19. And the thing about it is
the Steelers are up now.
So they got obviously.
That's the most important statistic.
Engineers.
Steelers don't play baseball, by the way.
Yeah, and I know you thought
you said the Steelers are up right now.
Yeah. No, he's talking about in the points.
In a total points.
Okay.
Maybe if you weren't maybe
Mark, if you would like to stick with baseball, it's fine.
Leave the show and go sit on the couch. And
No.
watch.
Lots to talk about this week. If you'll let me talk. I mean, I can't wait until the magic 5 questions.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
Preaching to the choir, fire the OC. How do they keep this guy? So if I'm in Baltimore, it's that ridiculous play at the end of the half, and then the 7 drop passes, 3 of which were touchdowns. Last week, I didn't want to say it, but my prediction was maybe 3. My prediction was that Baltimore was going to trounce them. That's just what. And look, almost is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. We know that. But if those receivers had made those catches, that game is completely different. It is a blowout, and Baltimore is winning. So if I'm in Baltimore, that's what I'm screaming about right now. Like, yeah, you got to catch the passes, and you got to, you do that.
It's very similar to the way Cleveland felt after the game they lost to us.
Well, I think so, but
this one was a little bit more egregious.
Yeah, it really was.
That makes me even happier.
It really was.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I had one thought.
Those are the best games to beat against divisional
I mean,
rivals,
honestly,
right?
I had a
Where you
thought.
steal it, and then it's like they have no idea what just happened.
Hold on to that thought, Schwaber.
I mean,
hold on to the thought.
I had a thought during this game, which was, has Harbaugh finally lost it?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the first half, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was horrible.
That was ridiculous.
To be honest, the play call of the interception in the end zone was a horrible call.
That was horrible. It was also a bad throw.
Yeah, it was a bad throw.
Not to take away from Joey Porter. He played well.
Right. He played it well, but it was a horrible throw.
The only thing I think with a game plan from a Baltimore perspective, and I really hate to put that hat on because I hate them, but the only game calling that I thought they should have done was they should have run the ball more. They stopped running the ball.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the Steelers said, well, we're going to put 7 guys on the line, so you can't run the ball. And then they didn't run it. And then they just made their wide receivers drop the ball. So, I mean, that's really what it came down to it. Their players didn't come up big.
Okay, so Mike, we're gonna get to this. Mike says, "Do you guys think Kenny called an audible on the touchdown pass to Pickens?" Yeah, I know we're gonna address that. I just want to give
there was some thought that he just changed the protection.
Yeah, well,
he said
it was an audible.
Yeah,
did he say he audible?
Randy
means basically
protection
means
to the right.
Protection to the right. Pickens,
go ball. Okay.
Go.
Okay.
That's basically what he meant. Yeah. Now, did that mean he had to throw him the ball? No. But it's exactly what Burrow and Chase do all the time. When they see it, they don't even have to say it anymore.
Yeah.
Chase knows just to go down the field, and he's going to throw him the ball one-on-one.
Yeah. So, and we're going to get to that. My emotions about the game, I was totally confused.
You're still totally confused, aren't you?
Well, that's
in life. You're
that's
confused.
kind of a state of being.
This is why we do this show.
Yeah, to make fun of me. So, during the game, I said this is the worst possible outcome for the Steelers right now, and I hate saying that because honestly, in the NFL, a win's a win, man. It's a win.
Sure,
they're 3-2. They're in first place, and if they can scrape out win after win after win, look at the end of the year when you go back and you look at all the trophies, nobody says, that was an ugly Super Bowl year, so they do. I get it, but I think the bigger issue is what's going on the field is you had basically 80% of the game. We're not going to talk about the Steelers defense right now. 80% of the game looked worse than horrible. Pickett wasn't hitting people.
Right.
The offense was terrible. And that's where I want to go. Let's talk about this game right now from the standpoint of Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
What did Kenny Pickett accomplish in this game?
He threw one good pass to win the game at the end. And that's all you really need.
And that's it.
That's it.
I get it. I preface this by saying a win is a win.
Also, he didn't make any mistakes, which means he didn't panic and he didn't try and do too much, which is exactly what he's asked to do in this stupid offense.
There you go. Okay. Schwaber, what did Kenny Pickett do in this game that was good?
He accomplished that he is not as bad as the 25th to the 32nd worst quarterback in the league.
There you go. There you go.
I agree with that.
There you go. I think what he achieved was, now this goes into all of the talk we've heard about Matt Canada supposedly not reacting at all to that touchdown pass.
Whatever.
I know that's like the dumbest conversation to have in the world.
Yeah.
I
don't know, guys.
It's like never having a losing season to me. It's another one of those abnormalities. Who cares?
I gotta be honest with you. I did notice it, and this was my thought, and I kid you not. This was my thought. I felt like Canada knew that if they lost this game and they looked horrible, he was going to be out at the bye. I honest to goodness thought that Canada's emotion at that time was, this is my last game, and the touchdown shocked him. I think he was shocked, and he just didn't move a muscle. He didn't know what to think. Like, wait a minute, what? We threw a touchdown pass? We've been horrible all game.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he was shocked.
And I think I agree with you. My thinking was,
I agree with that.
my thinking was, at first he was a little miffed that Kenny audibled, because even the rumors that Kenny isn't allowed to change the play are not true. He's discouraged from changing the play, but Kenny made this call. And yes, I think Canada was watching it like, oh, he changed the call. Oh, okay. We scored a touchdown. Like that was his thinking. Like,
Either
we scored a touchdown. Yeah, to hear all these guys are like, well, did you think that maybe it wasn't celebrated because he was thinking that this and he was going to be fine? I mean, shut up. The guy's 50 some years old.
Yeah.
He's a professional coach. Look, it doesn't matter how bad he was. No,
you're using too kind words.
He's paid by a professional organization a professional amount of money to be a professional coach, and he's not a good one. Can we go there?
He's definitely not a good coach.
There you go. So
does that make him unprofessional?
I think I'm thinking along those lines. So what did Kenny Pickett do better for me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I almost said nothing.
Yeah.
But I got to give him.
That's not true, though.
I got to give him.
He had to do something. They won the game.
Yeah, I mean,
the defense and special teams won that game.
He did throw that ball. Yeah, for the touchdown.
He threw one good pass.
Did he have to? But the question is,
and he had to throw.
Did he have to? No. Do they win that game still if he doesn't make that pass? They probably do. Then you could say nothing.
Actually, I would say they definitely don't win the game.
Well, no. Boswell kicks a field goal there.
I don't know.
And actually, they take more time off the clock.
Well, no, maybe Kenny gets sacked. He get pushed out of field.
Well, that did happen. That did happen twice in the game.
Right.
To your point.
Right. So
to your point.
So I give him just a little bit because it was a game winning.
All right, listen. The phone number, if you're watching on social media, is 412-805-7236. Any of these things we're talking about now, call in and let us know how you feel. Did Kenny Pickett make any progress? No, he made no progress whatsoever. They got lucky because the defense played out of their ass. Special teams blocked up. They did. I mean, look.
Well, I'm waiting for your other question.
Well, okay. I would actually see. No, I would say that the defense did not play as well as it appears. Now, did they play well?
I don't know. Strip sack to end the game.
Well, did they? No. Did they play well in the fourth quarter, second half of the fourth quarter? Yes. But the rest of the game, they should have given up 24 points. So I mean, you're right. I mean, so I don't like. I think that the Steelers are weak against the pass.
That's obvious. So, okay, I want to get these comments in.
I think they were.
I want to get these comments in.
Yeah.
JP Jr.'s in now. I think they get better.
CD says, field goal safety, field goal touchdown misconversion.
Yeah.
17.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Ouch. DG says, aside from the last minute TD pass, I think Kenny looked bad. He had happy feet and abandoned the pocket all game long. I think he looked a little better in the pocket in this game. I will give him that. A little better.
I think a little better.
Not much.
Not much progress.
CD said he didn't throw any Trubisky-like interceptions.
That's true.
Tim Eggert says false comfort in a win. And CD is agreeing with me as far as, he's saying the D plays well in key situations, not all game.
Yeah,
you glitches love to be like hashtag inconsistent. I wonder how my wife would feel if I was like, hashtag put on some sexy clothes or something.
It might work. You might want to try it.
All right, that's another discussion. So I'm going to segue here. Lamar Jackson.
Well, no, I think Amy makes a great point. The whole team is mediocre. Well, that's not true. I think George Pickens had a little bit of a breakout game.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was
What was it?
clearly-
8 catches, 130 yards, and a score?
Well, I mean, he was clearly the number one guy, right? So not only was he the number one guy and they planned against it, he still performed well.
And he performed against a Pro Bowl cornerback. Yeah, I know he was his first game back from injury, but still, up until that point in the game, he had pretty much done his job.
And let's face it, TJ Watt is not mediocre.
No, of course not.
So I think there are a few exceptions to that, Amy, but the rest of the team, other than those two guys, you're probably right.
Okay, so I'm not even. I heard some comparisons today. Pickett to Jackson, and Pickett outdueled Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God! Don't even give me. No,
right,
we can just skip over that conversation.
Okay,
we agree that's
good.
ridiculous.
That's good.
Those people are idiots.
Look, if his wide receivers catch the balls that he threw right in their hands, he has 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. They win that game by 2 touchdowns at least.
Right.
So enough of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Canada.
By the way, they didn't catch those balls.
They didn't. I know.
There is something to be said for that, because I would argue that Rashad Bateman and Odell Beckham Jr. 2023 Odell Beckham Jr. are both not Pickens.
No.
And Pickens catches the ball, and those two
they're not even
Bulls
Deontay Johnson.
Right. Oh, and Aguilar, we forgot about him.
Yeah. He had a couple claims.
That's
too,
why
Right.
he's not on the Eagles.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Right. I mean, definitely.
All right.
Right.
All right.
That's why they got Quez Watkins.
Najee Harris versus Jaylen Warren. Can we settle this argument once and for all, please?
No problem. I'd
There
love
you
to
go.
settle it for you.
Go for it.
They both need to play. I mean, that's the
not
bottom
what I wanted-
line.
That's not what I wanted to hear, but I understand. I think I know where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
I mean, they both have to play. Clearly, Jaylen Warren is the better back of the two, but you still need a running back that's going to go right into that line full speed and get 0 yards like 4 times a game.
To wear him down.
Yeah, because Jaylen Warren does that. He's probably going to get hurt, right? So it's you need them both. I get it. Jaylen Warren is probably the better back of the two right now. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and say he is the better back, but you still need both of them. As long as they're both in there together, I don't see where the controversy
Although
is.
I have a question for you.
It's a league that has running back by committee now, right?
It is.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's all they're doing.
I do have a question for you. Remind me the name of the Steelers running back during Ben's first Super Bowl win. Willie Parker? That's it. Willie Parker.
Oh, yeah. Watched him run 75 yards
Is
for a touchdown.
Is Willie Parker any bigger than Jaylen Warren?
No, but he was fast.
No, but he was faster. Yeah.
Okay, but if he's no bigger, look, I mean, I remember when Willie Parker got the ball in the first game. I think somebody was hurt or something. We all kind of thought they're not going to give him the ball.
Oh no, they had
a main
plays
running
for
back.
Willie Parker. In fact, Willie Parker that year was probably more valuable as a running back than Jerome Bettis.
Right.
was.
And didn't he in the next season or didn't Jerome retire and then he was the number 1 running back?
and he was not good.
He wasn't as good as the number 1.
He wasn't.
Okay.
Which proves the point. You need to have two. You need to definitely have 2 running backs. Somebody who's your home run hitter and somebody who's just going to run the ball 15 times for 60 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Steelers have now. And we just have to get used to that.
Yeah, but I'm.
Well, here's. Let me make one more comment.
Please do. Mom.
The reality of the situation here is that it's an okay back by committee. All right.
Okay.
The reason why we're so prone to not accept that and to be disgusted with Harris a lot of the time is because he was a number 1 pick.
Agreed.
If he was drafted in the 3rd round, like people would say, yeah, they got a pretty good thunder and lightning approach here.
Right.
Well,
you're right. And actually, if it was reverse, right,
Mhm.
and Jaylen Warren was the number 1 back,
right.
they would probably feature him more, but they
Mhm.
would still run Najee Harris every now and then, just right into the line, and everybody would be okay with that.
Right.
But it's just the reverse situation, so people are too hyped up on the fact that Najee is a first pick who's kind of a bust. and I say kind of a bust
Boy,
because he still plays.
Amy is really doling it out tonight, isn't she, guys?
She is. I do agree, Steve, that you need two backs, but you need two good backs, and I agree with Amy there. DG says I absolutely agree with Steve. They are two different types of runners. If the if the line was good and their schemes were better, this goes back to Canada. Best to wear down the defenses by the fourth quarter. But here's the thing. Look, I don't know of a running back that was ever drafted to be like, let's make sure that we hand the guy with this ball and he runs right into the line as hard as he can and bruises these people up and never ever gets a yard.
There's a ton of them. There's
really?
There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
I mean,
who drafts a running back and hopes that and doesn't want them to run 100 yards a game?
Do you realize that?
I mean, but do they? That's the thing. There are very few backs that actually do that.
Yeah, I understand, but you get where I'm coming from.
The success rate of backs in the first round is like less than 50%.
Right. That's why a lot of teams don't draft a running back in the first round, because they do have to pay them big money, and that's unfortunately why Najee won't be here after next year. They're not going to give him that fifth year contract. It just doesn't. It won't make sense to pay him $8 million.
Yeah, I get it, but I think
but when you draft him there, you do expect him to be that.
I agree. The expectations are not being fulfilled by Najee, but the two of them together, it's good enough. Let's just move on.
Here we go.
Contract.
Well, I would also say, and I think that
it is.
I also think that somebody I think it was DG who made the remark, and also I'm going to say Tim Egger also made the remark. The running game also would be better with better O-line play. So that's personnel, and also with better play calling.
Are we going to talk about the offensive line? Because if not, I'd like to throw my 2 cents into that right now.
We're going to get there.
Okay, then I'll hold off.
I'm going to move to JP Jr. right now. This is why this game was so confusing, okay? Because everything that we've talked about, when they do it, it seems to succeed. And the thing about it is, and we'll get into the O-line with that soon. The thing about that is that, like, we're not getting paid all that money to put the players on the field, but JP Jr., that's what I call him. JP Jr., is he a starter?
Oh, yes, 100%. I told you should start at the beginning of the year.
I agree.
He should be. And to be fair, look, it's still early, and I think that everything we've seen of him so far we've liked. He should be a starter even if he's not the full-time answer, because you want to see if he is.
Who do you think's back here? He's watching us on YouTube. Sassafras and chocolate milk, baby.
He's back.
Yep. Wish I remembered his name. Anyway, so joining us on YouTube, Yoho Son. Thank you so much. What was his name?
I don't remember.
It's been a while since he's been on. JP Jr. starts, sit Pat Pete. DG.
You can put Pat Pete in that, whatever that nickel position is. You can play him.
Oh, Amy's starting to get a little possessive here. DG and I are your two number one fans. I would agree with that.
They should put. You know what? Actually, I take that back. You know what I think they should do with Patrick Peterson? I think they should put him at safety.
That's not a bad idea.
Next to Minka.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because the one thing that Pat Peterson is he's a playmaker.
Right.
And I think if he has his eyes on the quarterback and is allowed to roam a little bit, then I think that he has a better chance to succeed.
Carey. That's who it was. Yo Carey.
That's right. Yo Carey. Thank you, Yo
He's
Carey.
hiding under Yoho Son.
Yeah, Yoho Son, Yo Carey. Pat Pete, a coach and a good one. I think that's a great idea, though. Pat Pete at safety. I do. I wouldn't have thought of that.
I think they need him on the field. He's got too much experience.
And another thing I think could help as well. I don't know if you have him on your list, but I'm going to say Minka has been, I wouldn't say he's been bad, but he's been underwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? because he's been tackling for all the linebackers.
Right.
He's their number one.
Right.
Number one. He leads the defense in tackles. That's the problem.
Okay. And
He shouldn't be doing that.
but I also do.
He should have more freedom to get to the ball.
But I also do think with maybe a running mate and Pat Peterson, he can maybe have a little more confidence to take some chances versus who's out there with him now.
I'm down with that. I like that idea. I think having JP Jr. in the starting position allows you to free up the talent to do the things that they're better at.
Okay, one more thing about the defense. The linebacker play. Is it better this year?
Well, I mean, it's better this year, but you're starting from the worst in the league. You know, how much better?
Right.
It's probably like Kenny Pickett better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one thing I do like about the linebackers is they got Holcomb and they got Kwan Alexander and I always forget the other guy's name. But I like the rotation that they do.
Landon Roberts.
Yeah, thank you, Roberts. I like the rotation that they do because that keeps them fresh throughout the whole game. You know what I mean?
Well, and Kwan Alexander showed up this game.
Oh yeah, he definitely had some splash plays.
Yeah,
and he was part of the reason they abandoned the run because he was always in the backfield causing mayhem.
So Steve, let's go to the offensive line.
Well, like I said, Broderick Jones is definitely and should have been starting in that left tackle position from the beginning. Any runs that they had, you can see they tend to go to the left-hand side because they got him over there and they got Seumalo over there, and those guys can open up holes.
Right.
The big problem the offensive line has is Mason Cole. Dude, he's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think he can start in the NFL past this year.
Yeah.
He's awful. Like, he gets blown back every play.
Well, and
if
he's in the center of the line.
Exactly. So
right.
So if you're not fast enough, and let's face it, Najee's not fast enough, he can't even get to the hole in time because Mason Cole's getting blown up in the backfield every time. And it's not just a couple times, it's every time.
Yeah, and to be fair, you know, that's part of the reason why Kenny Pickett is jumpy to get out of the pocket.
Part of it.
I
mean, he needs to get comfortable with some guys coming back into his face a little bit.
It's definitely something he has to work on, but I'm saying it doesn't help.
And I agree with everything that all the callers, I should say the texters, have been saying regarding Canada's inability to have good blocking schemes to make something work. I saw some statistic today where it's like when they're under the center, they run the ball like 85% of the time. And when they're under the shotgun, it's like the same thing. So like automatically when they're in the shotgun, you know, they're going to pass. When they're under center, you know, they're going to run. Well, so it's like, that's a problem, and that's Canada. So, and I know we're probably going to get to him next, but that doesn't make it easier for the offensive line when the defense already kind of has an idea. Like, I know I can bum rush through this because it's probably going to be a run play, and I'm not going to get trashed with some, you know, short pass that's going to go behind me as a linebacker.
And that being said, you did bring up Canada. So my last official question, and then there's one more after that. Are you sorry we won because Canada will stay?
I will never apologize for beating the Baltimoreans. Never.
Right.
So
of course not.
No, I'm not sorry that we won. I am sorry that we have to continue down this path of Matt Canada's offense being awful and Mike Tomlin's.
And here we go. We're just going to introduce this segment. Steve has thoughts on Tomlin, as always. Go ahead.
I finally get to talk about Tomlin.
Okay. Talk about Tomlin.
Okay. This is why
Mark needs to watch.
Okay.
The Phillies
everybody listening.
You might see me go like
everybody listening may want to sit down for this because I'm about to tell you why I think Mike Tomlin is a great coach. Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Come on.
That's why I said you might want to sit down for this.
You just walked yourself into that one.
Yep. Well, you did. Did I?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
He did.
No. I this is facts. Okay.
All right.
The reason Mike Tomlin is a great coach is for this reason only. He totally has this team believing that they can win games with defense. And the reason I know this is because I witnessed it in the Cleveland game.
Right.
Total debacle. They had no chance of winning that game. Every player on that field totally believed that they were still going to win that game. And he has them in this mindset of, if we can just keep it close, the defense will do something. And they have in the games that they've won to be able to win the game. And they do it. Like, I don't know how else to say that other than that's just coaching. Maybe it's a mind meld. Maybe it's something. I don't think it's a winning formula moving forward. Don't get me wrong, but these players totally believe it. They absolutely believe it. If you hear it in the post conference, they always after the game, they're always saying like, well, we just believe that, we could get better. And the defense actually did get a lot better. Like, they sucked in the first quarter, but then they made some changes that was like, oh, okay, this is all we have to do now to stop that one thing.
Adjustments, which they are not famous for.
Defense is very good at that, and I give Tomlin some credit for that. I don't know how much, but he's the defensive expert. If he could just find somebody on the offense to make those tweaks, clearly it's not Matt Canada. If he could do that on the offensive side, I think he has something here. I really do, but I don't think right now the way this team is constructed with its talent and with its ability that they can do this for very much longer. But let's face it, the games that they've won, they should not have won. And the only reason they won was because they believed they could get it done. And that's why I think Tomlin is a great coach.
And as soon as you said that, DG said, I just puked into a bucket.
Well, I hope you were sitting down, David, because I preemptively said you're not going to.
By the way, new term introduced during that segment, mind melt.
Yeah.
Mind melt.
I thought that was interesting.
Was it
mind melt?
Mm-hmm.
Melt, not melt.
Mind
like
melt.
The Vulcan
No,
mind
melt. No, they're totally melted together.
Yes, mind melt.
Like the whole defense has one mind when it comes to Tomlin saying, we can win this game, boys. We can win this game. And what happens? They play renegade. They get a fumble recovery. They punt the ball. Somebody blocks it.
Yeah.
They just believe it. I don't know how else to say it, but they keep it close, and then they do that thing.
This comes down to this particular game comes down to the classic Ravens Steelers game. Gunner coughs up the ball
on the free kick
by running into his own guy.
Yeah, by running into his own guy. So okay. So
by the way, that guy should be cut. Tomlin should cut that guy to show his genius. He should cut that guy.
I think everybody agrees with you there. I know I do. I'm pretty sure Schwaber does. But I guess what I have to say about this game here's why it is so confusing for me. Okay, so we all know division rivalries,
but that Texas game wasn't even close.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't, and
it wasn't close, and that's the problem.
That's what I'm getting at.
Once they get more than a score or two behind, they're screwed because the offense can't come back.
Well, they didn't build the team to come back. That's what Canada
it's not a
said.
team that comes back.
Yeah, it's not. We didn't build the team to come back.
As long as they're one score or like 10 points behind, they'll still feel like they can do it.
So here's the problem that I have.
That's the belief.
And I don't know if it's a problem. Maybe it's just a brain fart I can't get beyond. I think I text you guys and said watching them win this game was kind of like laughing while I'm taking a crap.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it's like I'm happy that I just took a big dump. You know, like the entire offense. Let's get serious now.
We were doing so well.
The entire
we had a chance of being picked up by ESPN,
and then you
had to say that.
Yeah, who wants to be on ESPN? Do you want to be on ESPN?
Yeah, with the salary they're going to pass. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I'll take the salary.
Right. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Not the hours.
Maybe I'll
clean it up, Klein.
All right. So this is a classic division rivalry, classic Steelers game. Weird, wacky stuff happens. You got fumbles, you got drop balls, you got a blocked punt that turns into a safety. You got a weird play at the end of the half when they should have. CD says, "Happy dump." That's your Drexel education at work. Oh man!
Wow, there's a lot there.
You were probably the worst student of the three of us.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a bad seed in the bunch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I ever got anybody to take my tests for me.
Yeah. Right.
So
that would have been the smartest thing you did.
yeah.
Right.
Jesus. Okay. So much for ESPN, I guess, for real now.
Yeah. We never had a chance.
Your resume is not what you said it was. Okay. So not next week. We have a bye week. So
Yep.
who are we coming in? Who's coming into town at the end of that, or where are we going?
Nope, we're heading out to LA.
Okay, that's right. We're going to LA.
We're going to see a
Listen.
real offense out there.
Right. We're going
This is the real defense.
To the Rams or San Diego?
The Rams.
the Rams. So
Oh,
what
right.
I'm saying is
Either one.
The Chargers are LA too, though, right?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah. The Rams.
this game is
The original Rams.
this game is an anomaly. They won the game because it's a rivalry.
Well, it's not an anomaly because they beat Cleveland the exact same way.
I understand, but that was a division game too. What I'm saying is, my belief is that when you go out, my buddy Jeff,
Oh, yeah.
he used to cheat off my papers in school. Dude, I was never in a class with you. You were a grade ahead of me. God.
Hey, listen.
I mean, come on, dude. Next thing you're going to tell
The
people.
more,
No, never
the
mind.
more you
Yeah.
talk about it, the more it's true.
Yeah, that's funny.
Mm.
AFC North front runners, Tomlin 50-50. So I back to my point. This game was an anomaly. Next week or 2 weeks from now, I'm telling you, it's going right back to the same old crap, and they're going to lose that game.
Well,
There's
as
no
long-
way they're
if-
winning
if-
that game.
If they get 14 points down, they will lose that game.
Yeah, I just
Mhm.
I think that
That's right.
I think this was the worst possible outcome for this franchise right now, was for them to win this game and start having the feeling that, maybe we're in first place. Look, first place 5 games into the season doesn't mean anything.
Sure, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does too.
Well, how can it?
Well, at this point, it's first place because they're in a bad division. That's basically
exactly right.
what it is.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's first place because they happen to beat the 2 teams in their division at home like they should.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would be saying this team is done for
All right.
the year.
Am I detecting some sort of like Steeler Homer bandwagon going on?
No. I think
Are you?
I think the yeoman. No, I think the yeoman's work is ahead of them.
Oh, there's another good quote.
Yeah.
The yeoman's
You're going
work.
yeoman's
Are you,
work.
you
Yeah.
know what you're doing? You're going Tomlin on us. You're talking about weighty issues.
Well, I'm sorry if
The
you can't
yeoman's work.
understand my weighty issue.
Was there rhythm within the rhythmic structure?
The rhythmic structure will need to be more rhythmic into the future.
There you go. Oh my God, he just turned into Mike Tomlin in
See?
front of me.
See?
One more comment in here. CD says, need to change the OL up the line, give Pickett a chance to read the D with pre-snap motion and get wide receiver screens early, blah, blah, blah.
Remember, the
It's like, is his
Cincinnati
name Canada? What is this? Are you the offensive coordinator?
maybe he should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Well, he does have a Penn State education.
That goes against him. But he probably knows Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah. Yeah, he might.
Yeah, not as good as Joe Paterno.
all
Wait,
right.
no, that's
right.
sorry. He wasn't there at the time. Sorry.
Okay, so listen, guys. Let's do a real quick. Who do you think's going to win after the bye?
Oh, after the bye.
Yeah.
Why do we even care?
Well, you said they're in first place. That kind of means you care, right?
Well, I mean, I'll just go with my picks for the year. I picked
Yeah.
them to lose in LA.
Now, okay. Let me just go down our records here right now. I am currently 5-0 on the season. I had them losing to the Niners, beating the Browns and the Raiders, losing to the Texans, and beating the Ravens.
Yeah,
I'm 5-0.
you can just say 5-0. You don't have to like go down.
Yeah,
every
we
single one.
No, I
know
want to
the games.
remind you.
I'm 3-2, and the only games that I lost was the juxtaposition between the Houston and the Vegas game.
You had them beating the Ravens, and Mark had
I did.
them losing.
And I have them losing against the Rams.
We all have them losing against the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I think that makes
So
sense
we're
for this
good.
team. They're never going to run away with the division, but the fact that they're in first place in the division now and Cincinnati is so terrible, although they're coming back to life, that will be what it comes down to. Can they
Yep.
beat Cincinnati in the 2 games they play them to keep the divisional lead?
Okay.
That's really what it's going to come down to. And of course, nobody believes that they will.
Okay. So Let's move on here to our picks for this week.
Oh, there's some horrible games this week.
Yeah, horrible games we're picking. So last week, Steve had the Cowboys. Me and Mark had the Niners.
Oh, that was a bad.
All three of us had the Commanders, and boy, were we wrong. And Steve and Mark had the Chiefs, and I picked Kirk Cousins to win, and I was wrong there.
Yeah.
That leaves our record right now. Mark is 8-4 and pulling away. Steve is 6-6, and Chris is 5-7. But I'm going to make a comeback this week. I'm going to make a
8-4.
comeback.
So that means Marcus gets the pick first.
That's right. So
should have taken them Bears
this week. The games that we are going to pick
Thursday night.
We want to know what your pick is. Thursday night, Broncos at Chiefs.
Well, nobody's taking the Broncos.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You can't take the Broncos there.
Steve and Mark, I'm taking the Broncos.
Okay.
No, you're
Good
not.
for you.
Yes, I am.
Take them.
I'm in love with Russell Wilson.
Well, he's going to be available soon.
No, he's actually having a better year. Their defense is just horrible. I'm taking the Broncos. Sunday night, Giants. Wait, we got a prediction coming in here. It's a CD. Kansas City. Yo's on stairway to 7 for KC as Pitt sits at 6 for the 38th year straight. Craig's in. He chimes in. Thanks for being here, Craig. The players past and present love Tomlin. We know that.
Yep, they do.
Giants at Bills Sunday night. Giants at Bills. Who you guys got?
Come on, the Bills came off of a terrible loss against Jacksonville. I think they got a rebound against the Giants.
I'd say Bills.
Yes, Steve, Mark, and Chris are taking the Bills. All right, and the final game of the week, Seattle at Cincinnati. This could be a good game.
I'll go Cincinnati. 1-2 in a row.
I'm going Seattle.
Me too. We'll let Mark really run away with this thing.
Yeah, why not?
I think Seattle's actually a pretty good team.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good too. CD, Bills Mafia, Cincy at home. Okay. All right. Now we've come to the part of the show where Steve starts to convulse and sweat, and things are just kind of crazy. And I want to remind you guys, I want to remind everybody that of course Hockey Jesus is back, and Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins game. Yo Carey takes the refs at the Giants and Bills.
I should have went with the tie on that one.
After every single Penguins game on the podcast, Hockey Jesus preaches on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts.
And in fact, the spectacular is out.
It is out, and it started in incredible fashion. Incredible fashion.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, how did it end?
Yeah.
How did the spectacular end?
Yeah.
The ending was not so great.
Yeah, the ending was actually, guys, this is what they this is what they would call an epic ending. I just got to cue it up here.
I think the thing that is most remarkable is that the Hockey Jesus, facing death, almost certain death, worked through the call.
Here you go.
I did need my father's help on that one.
This is the Hockey Jesus.
This is what you get when you do it live. I just hit the music.
Then he has to
I hit
start
the music. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, before Hockey Jesus preaches right now, this is what I want to tell you. I want you guys to.
Amy, they didn't get to hear any of that. Thank you, technical director.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's a shame.
How is that possible?
Well, that's okay. We don't need to worry about that.
Are you serious?
Just go.
You guys...
They could just go and listen to the podcast.
Wait a minute.
That's
I
all.
had it on.
Well, they didn't hear it. They could only hear us laughing.
Well, you're kind of a failed technical director.
That's okay.
You know what, guys? I really apologize for that. I have everything set up right. And
that's just the way it works. So if you do want to hear me dying on the radio, just go and listen to my Pittsburgh Penguins preseason spectacular, where I kind of break down what the Penguins need to do to make the playoffs this year. I'm real excited. Tomorrow night, I get to go to the game. I get to see Connor Bedard played in his very first hockey game. I've got tickets to like 6 games this year, as usual. I'll actually have to post those up on the line. I think my next game is at the end of the month, where Ottawa's in town, and then probably not again until November. But yeah, I love it. I love hockey. This is the best time of the season. I think the thing that you have to worry about with the Penguins is right out of the gate, I think they are going to struggle. So you're going to have to stick with the boys here in the first 20 games of the season. I think they're going to struggle, but come back. I'll give you all the reasons why that's happening. And hey, hockey is here. We love it. We love hockey, and we love it on the porch. And I love it after every game. This week's going to be great because I'm going to do it live. I'll do my post game from PPG, and then on Friday I will actually be in Philadelphia. So I don't even know how I'm going to do that. They play Buffalo on Friday, so that's just what we're going to go with, and that's what we're going to do.
You can also catch the Hockey Jesus on our Deportes channel.
As always, it just cleared. I don't like now. Steve's vocal is muffled.
Yeah. David,
I'm not sure what's going on.
It's cleared. It's good now. Yeah. He can hear me. David, yeah, that was an anomaly. I heard an interview with Sid today where he said he just kind of looked back and he saw Letang kind of crumpled on the ice and he wasn't sure what happened. So he took umbrage with the one kid that hit him because he knew he could take him out, and he just kind of roughed him up. He didn't really actually want to do that, so it was just one of those things. It was actually a pretty funny interview because it was actually, if you want to listen to it, Mark Madden had it on the X today, and you should go and listen to that interview. It's a great interview. But at the end, Mark Madden asked him if he is actually going to start a fight with Connor Bedard, and he said, I don't think that will be happening. But good stuff. Yeah, I don't think you'll see Sid dropping the gloves too much. He is thrilled to be, in his 19th season. And we'll see what happens. I mean, old guys versus young guys. We're always rooting for the old guys here on the porch.
Yeah, and I'm just excited that we're going to have the Hockey Jesus preaching after every game. But I want to try something on the podcast here because I think I might have figured this out. So let me see. For you guys who've been watching and sticking with us, this is going to be our first live test of something. So
not really.
Yeah, not really.
Everything
is a live test. Okay.
Let's be honest to the folks.
Let's try the start of that Hockey Jesus spectacular, because I'm going to put the link up in the comments so you can go listen to the preseason spectacular. Let's see if okay, so okay.
Ooh, donate today. Yeah,
here you go.
Sounds good.
You're asking for donations.
All right, can you hear this?
Amy, can you hear that? No.
David says that's a no.
That really sucks, guys. I'm sorry about that. It is a really, really funny show down near the end. Steve loses his voice.
Hey, just go listen to it. Catch it the last 26th minute.
That's amazing.
It's always good listening to me choke to death.
I'm putting the link for the Hockey Jesus spectacular preseason spectacular into the comments right now, and that's about it for that. Now I want to
know, do you guys are you excited for hockey this year? Or
hell yeah,
care less?
Sure, yeah,
I'm totally excited. I'm excited because I watch, quote unquote, watch hockey through you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, one last thing here.
Yep.
Tell me about the documentary on Beckham.
Oh,
I've only watched one episode, but it was very good.
Yep.
Here's the documentary on Beckham and why you have to watch it. Football, as it's known in England, is much more popular in England and throughout the world than it is here.
Correct.
David Beckham is a superstar. Like, even if you don't know the sport, you know who David Beckham is.
Right.
So it kind of chronicles his career, including, when he got started, which was like at the age of like 16. I think he was found when he was like 15 and he signed a contract.
Right.
And it's just amazing to watch this kid turn into a superstar and ultimately just a mega star, not even on the pitch, as they say. So it's great. It's just great. And the insight, you all know the story, Posh Spice and David Beckham get married. They have some kids.
Superstar couple.
But the way they present themselves, they actually kind of seem normal.
Yeah. A-list couple.
There you go.
You gotta watch it.
All right,
Must
guys.
Watch.
All right. Well,
and you know what? It's the bye week, so why wouldn't you watch it?
That's exactly
right.
Well, I'm gonna watch it.
You watch your hockey,
and after I finish watching Encounter, which is about all the aliens out there.
It's so terrible.
We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring What Are We Watching back. We're actually going to bring it back next week because it's the bye week.
They're coming.
Right after the Hockey Jesus. Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering if everybody can hear the damn music. I have no idea why we get that in there. But listen, I want to thank you all for watching the Sports Porch Pittsburgh all over social media, all over the world on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. And, of course, we're going to drop this crazy podcast right after the show. The Sports Porch Podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. And of course, you can always visit us at theporcheslive.com, theporcheslive.com,
theporcheslive.com.
And one more thing, guys.
See us there.
Find us at radiopgh.com. That is our new radio station. We are in our new studios, and we can't wait to
share with you.
Get it rocking.
Yep.
I am your technical director, and I am out.
And failed.